And even before we go further, I want you guys to understand there's a difference between Bitcoin and crypto. Like, okay, this might sound controversial, but I'm a Bitcoiner, a fully fledged Bitcoiner. Like, I'm 100% Bitcoiner. I don't deal with any other coins. Na kuna hiyo difference. Bitcoin was the first, yes, cryptocurrency, but kumekuwa na hiyo confusion ya juu ya there are so many other coins that zimekuja after Bitcoin was invented.
Good evening, good afternoon, good night, wherever you're watching me from. My name is Tom Gore, and I'm currently hosting a very beautiful young lady. You'll get to know more about her, but before we go further, let me give her a chance to introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Gore.
Yes.
My name is Sabina, and my titles, I'm a Bitcoin advocate. I'm also a Bitcoin entrepreneur. I co-founded a Bitcoin company called Tando. And Tando is an app that allows you to spend your Bitcoin anywhere in Kenya. M-Pesa is accepted. So that's actually why I'm here today, because we're here to talk about Bitcoin. But also adding on to my titles, I'm a fashion and style enthusiast, and I'm also a next beauty queen. Like, I've done so many beauty pageants. So it's a pleasure being here, and I hope by the end of this, podcast or this conversation, the audience would have walked away, you as the audience and you as Gore would have walked away with, something of value. Yes.
I remember how we met. For those people who don't know how we met in this summit, and I was telling you about how I've been scammed when it comes to crypto.
Yes.
So I think we don't have a certain formula we are following or a script we are following. Let's just start there. Nilikwambia niliibiwa crypto.
Yeah.
Na niliibiwa sana.
Pole sana. Pole.
Sasa kwa mwananchi wa kawaida kama mimi mwenye ajui story ya what Bitcoin is or what crypto is, would you mind sharing what Bitcoin is?
Sasawa. So acha tuanze na what is Bitcoin?
Yes.
And first of all, I'm so sorry that you got scammed.
No problem.
So many people have also been through that, and it's sad to see, and this is because the people who scam people, they take advantage of the fact that hamna your knowledge of what is Bitcoin or what is crypto. And even before we go further, I want you guys to understand there's a difference between Bitcoin and crypto. Like, okay, this might sound controversial, but I'm a Bitcoiner, a fully fledged Bitcoiner. Like, I'm 100% Bitcoiner. I don't deal with any other coins. Na kuna hiyo difference. Bitcoin was the first, yes, cryptocurrency, but kumekuwa na hiyo confusion ya there are so many other coins that zimekuja after Bitcoin was invented, and they tend to confuse people. We call them the noise, and Bitcoin is the signal. So ni kama venye, like, tuseme iPhone imeproduciwa by Apple, kumekuwa na iPhone 8, 7, 6, but then kuna kwanga na hizi phone imbo, like, staki kusema majina, but they're trying to emulate the iPhone zika hivyo. So I feel like that's the same thing with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the original iPhone. Na ututu iPhone twingine, they're just like now the crypto, which is the noise. They're there and that's why, like, you actually find yourself getting scammed. So acha tuanze by, so before tuendelee, please note that there's a difference between Bitcoin and this other crypto. Na tumesema Bitcoin is the signal, and crypto is the noise, and you should focus on the signal, which is Bitcoin. So what is Bitcoin, for those who are not familiar? The way I describe it is Bitcoin is a digital, decentralized, peer-to-peer, scarce, permissionless, and borderless currency. I know it's a lot.
It's a long explanation.
It's a lot, but there's a reason that's why lazima niseme hizo vitu zote ndo watu waweze kuelewa.
Yes.
And it's a currency, first and foremost. It's a currency, it's money. That's actually, that's what you should try and understand. It's just money. Like just like the way we use Kenyan shillings or the dollars, Bitcoin is also another form of money. But the difference is Bitcoin is the best form of money we've had as humans. Now, let's go back to the definition, and I'll explain step by step or word by word. So we said it's a digital. This is because Bitcoin is only online. Hakuna like physical notes or coins. You know, with the Kenyan shilling, kuna unaweza pata notes.
Notes na coins.
But with Bitcoin, it's purely digital. So hakuna like versions physically za Bitcoin. Number 2, tumesema it's decentralized. Decentralized inamaanisha that Bitcoin is not, it has no central party. So it's not controlled by any government, any bank, any central authority. No one, Bitcoin haina CEO. It's an open source protocol that anyone from anywhere in the world, adding North Korea, they can participate in this open source network. It's open for everyone. And in Bitcoin, we say you are your own bank. So that's what we mean by it's decentralized. It's haikontroliwi na mtu yeyote. Ni ya kila mtu. It's money for the people, by the people. Number 3, tumesema digital, decentralized, peer-to-peer. Peer-to-peer inamaanisha person to person. So nikiwa na Bitcoin, nikikutumia, itaenda straight kwako. It's not going through a middleman or banks. That's why it's like peer-to-peer, me to you. It was created that way because the person who created Bitcoin, by the way, his name, her name, or their name was Satoshi Nakamoto.
Also, it's not an individual; it's a group.
We don't know. Up to today, we don't know if it's a person or an individual. Or
the owner of the name hasn't come out and said, "This is my name."
No, and it was also a pseudonymous name, so that's not even their real name.
It might not even be their real name.
Exactly. So we don't know who they are. And I really love this about Bitcoin because Bitcoin is leaderless. Like we said, it's decentralized. So no one owns it. No one is the CEO. And I feel like that's why Satoshi or whoever they are decided to not, reveal who they are. Because it would have gone against the decentralized nature of Bitcoin. So peer-to-peer tumesema ni mtu kwa mtu. So when Satoshi created it, they had that in mind. Like, we want to eliminate banks. We want to eliminate middlemen. We just want it to be person to person. Because that gives people full control. Because Bitcoin was meant to give power back to the people. And we're going to talk more about that later.
Okay.
And then, number 4, we've said it's scarce.
Yes.
So, fun facts, if you didn't know this, Bitcoin, there'll only ever be 21 million Bitcoin to exist.
What if the 21 million Bitcoins are bought already? Or someone decides to buy all of them?
No one can buy all of them. That's how it was designed. Actually, Sahi, there's something called difficulty adjustment in mining. But I don't want to go deep into that. It's very technical. We are trying to keep it simple for the normal mwananchi.
Yes. We'll go to it on our next episode.
Exactly.
Let's do the introduction first.
Yes. For now, we're just doing intro, especially for newbies or for the normal mwananchi.
Yes.
So right now, like I've said, Bitcoin is scarce. And this is because there'll only ever be 21 million Bitcoins in existence. No one can make more. No one can print more. The thing that people don't know about the money that we use, we call it fiat money. This is the shillings, the dollars, the euros. They have an infinite, like, they can be printed to infinity, like continuously, because the government controls that, and it's just paper. They can print it however they want. And that is why we have inflation, which we will also look into later. But like I've said, Bitcoin is scarce. There can only ever be 21 million
Bitcoins.
And this helps with preserving the value. So Bitcoin becomes a better store of value because its supply is very scarce. And right now, 19 point something million Bitcoin have already been mined. So zimebaki 2 million. So kama huna Bitcoin, 2 million ikiisha ni hivyo zenye ziko ndo zina.
So what would I want to trade with zenye ziko?
So it will become more scarce and scarce and scarce.
And more valuable.
And now the more scarce something is, the more value yake
inapanda.
So kama huna Bitcoin, sasa unafaa ujiulize, like, do I want to be left behind? I want to own a piece of the cake, right? So know that there are only 2 million Bitcoin remaining, Sai, and please get some if you don't already. And we are going to guide you how to do that in this conversation. So scarce. Number 5, tumesema it's permissionless. Permissionless inamaanisha like you don't need anyone's permission to participate in this open source network. Inamaanisha hakuna mtu atakuitisha ID, hakuna mtu atakuitisha jina yako, kwenye unaishi, hakuna mtu anataka kujua kenye unafanya for work. Ati ndio kuwe eligible to join this network. No. Bitcoin is for anyone. Bitcoin is for anyone, and I mean that. And it does not discriminate who you are. It does not care about your background, your level of education, what you do for work. Even if you earn 10 shillings a day, Bitcoin is for you.
Okay, this is what I understand from that point. It's not regulated by anyone, which means it's like a playing ground for scammers. How do we protect ourselves from entering this playground for scammers?
We're going to get into that, but what I would say is if you truly understand Bitcoin and you have enough knowledge, no one will scam you. Because like, remember I said Bitcoin is your own bank.
Yes.
So with Bitcoin, there are these things we call your seed phrases. That's like the password for your account.
Yes.
So you create your Bitcoin. So in Bitcoin we have wallets. That's where you store your Bitcoin. And your wallet has a public address and a private address. So a public address is where people send you this money. And then you have a PIN for that. So your PIN is like your seed phrases. But I think we're going to talk about this because this is where the wallets fall. And there's self-custodial and custodial. So self-custodial is you keep your own keys. And this is like literally you become your own bank because you're the one who has the password of your wallet. And if you lose that, you lose your funds. And now with custodial, it's like you rely on a third party to keep the keys for you because we know some people can be forgetful or they're not like responsible enough to keep their own seed phrases. So this is where you trust a third party, and this is where you're gonna have like a custodial wallet. And there's so many different types of custodial wallets and exchanges as well, but I don't highly recommend that because Bitcoin was created to bring power back to the people. And so Satoshi wanted you to have full control of your money. So if you rely on third parties, you're going against, you know, the intention, the original intention of Bitcoin. So you still don't have, you know, all the power or like the full control over your money. And I feel like we're still going to talk about this, right? Because there's a way I want this conversation
to flow.
So sai bado tuko kwa characteristics na tumesema permissionless unakuja venye uko. Bitcoin haijali we ni nani. There's actually a community in Kibera. It's called AfriBeat. And these people, I'm telling you, and I'm not even kidding, they use Bitcoin for their day-to-day transactions. All the merchants are accepting Bitcoin there.
In Kibera?
It's like a small, you know, Kibera kuna 2 sections. So there's this section, a small village, inaitwa Bitcoin Valley.
In Kibera?
When they rely and they do everything with Bitcoin. People are saving in Bitcoin. People are transacting in Bitcoin. Kila kitu ni Bitcoin. And you know, these communities, like the communities in Kibera, they are like the underserved communities. They are the ones who are always left out, especially in the current financial system. Like banks haitikiangi watu kama hao, because they're like, oh, wewe una earn pesa kidogo, so you're not going to make us money. No, we don't want you. Or you don't, most people in Kibera find like they don't even have identification, they don't have ID cards. Or like banks, the transaction fees itakuwa too high for them, so hawaonangi haja ya kwenda hata kufungua bank account. So they're left out of the financial or the global economy because of where they come from, because of their background. And most of them find themselves there. They didn't make a choice to be born there.
Yes, true.
But Bitcoin, it's a global, it opens like this global economy to them, and they can participate. And no one is asking them about their background. No one is asking them about what they do for work or how much they're earning in a day. Bitcoin is like, come, I accept you as you are. you are a human, you deserve freedom, you deserve full control over your money, no matter how small it is, it's still yours at the end of the day. And I want you to have full control over that. And Bitcoin accepts them. That is like the permissionless nature of Bitcoin. And for me, that is freedom. And then the last one, you said it's borderless, right? Borderless means, this is my favorite thing about Bitcoin. Mimi niko na Bitcoin hapa na niko na beshte akostaki in North Korea. Unajua naweza mtumia hiyo Bitcoin instantly. It's borderless. So nikiwa hapa naweza tuma pesa anywhere in the world or anyone from anywhere in the world wanaweza nitumia hiyo Bitcoin yangu hapa. Like Bitcoin does not know borders. Compared to the current system, the current bank system that we have here.
Just to take like a few days. If you use RTGS, it takes 24 hours.
Exactly. Yes. And then a lot of paperwork, a lot of questions. And it's your money. Ni pesa yako unatuma ama mtu anakutumia pesa yake na bado unaulizwa hizi maswali zote. Is that freedom to you?
It's not freedom.
Exactly. So Bitcoin solves all these limitations that we have with the current money system. And now that was just the definition of Bitcoin. So like we said, Bitcoin was created in 2008. Like that's when the white paper came out.
Yes.
And then in 2009, that's when Satoshi Nakamoto, who we said we don't know who they are up until now, that's when they launched it into the public. Yes. And you remember in 2008, there was a financial crisis, right?
Yes.
This is when the banks were collapsing.
Yes.
And they were failing people. So many people lost their jobs. They lost money. They lost savings, investments. People had to start from scratch.
Yes.
You can imagine how painful that is. And the reason as to why the banks collapsed, by the way, if you don't know, it's because they took out a lot of loans that they could not pay. So zikakua, even though tu pesa ya watu ilienda. Ebu sasa put yourself in their shoes. Leo we umeka pesa yako kwa bank account. Kesho uamke upate hakuna kitu. Na hakuna kitu unaweza fanya. Because, during that financial crisis, you would have thought that the government would have been on the people's side.
True.
And wangewasaidia. But what did the government do?
They took the bankers' side.
Yes.
Of course.
And they used the taxpayers' money, pesa ile tax yetu ya tunalipanga. They took that and bailed out the banks.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
It's not fair.
That is like a crime against humanity. Because you can imagine, like, kuna mtu alikuwa ameka pesa yake kwa bank, hiyo ndo analipa rent, analipa school fees. And then unaamka hauna kitu, and your family is looking up to you, or you have even hospital bills. Someone is depending on you. Like, just feel that pain. And it has happened not even once. I think it happened even before 2008, and it can happen again.
Yes.
And we've seen like inflation and hyperinflation happen also in where the currency is devalued. And this is because governments have full control over this money.
Yes.
So Bitcoin was created as an alternative system so that if something like this ever happened again, people have
an option,
and they can opt out of this system.
Yes.
And that is why we say Bitcoin is hope and Bitcoin is freedom. It has come to like free us from the fiat slavery.
Yes.
And one thing I want people to understand is money is everything in this life. It connects to every sector of our life, our mental health, the economy.
Yes, offline you were explaining to me how the dynamics of the world right now is playing out.
Yes.
With the wars. Everything is like the root cause of everything that is happening in the world right now is money.
Exactly.
And you are explaining it in a smart way. I think you can share with the rest of the world how money is bringing trouble in this world.
So I feel like, like I said, money is what brings order in the world.
Yes.
It's beyond just buying and selling things. It's what like keeps away the chaos. Because I always say money is the thing that separates us from animals. Without money, we'd be like animals.
True.
So it's what creates order in this world. So it's beyond buying and selling. And this is why I feel like money is a very crucial topic to understand, to even teach in schools. And it's so sad that in schools people don't teach money like as they should. This is why I feel like it's important to have this conversation, and that's why I appreciate being here, because we go deep into what money is, like understanding it beyond exchanging it for things.
Yeah.
So like it connects us, like the wars you're seeing, the diseases, like
climate change,
everything is tied down to the money.
Yes.
And we always say, whoever controls your money controls you.
Yes.
So sometimes it's not even about wealth, it's about control. And now I want us to, since we are in the topic of money, I want us to
give me a little history of money.
Yeah, the history of money.
Yes. Let's start way back.
Yes.
How did money start?
Let's now go way back. I think we read this actually in history class. If you kama ulikuwa high school, tulikuwa tunafunzwa history ya money.
Yes.
Na nakumbuka,
but it's not so deep.
Not so deep. Exactly.
Yes.
But sasa mimi nitakuelezea.
Yes.
Tulianza barter system.
Yes.
The barter system is where you would directly exchange goods or services.
Unipatie mahindi, mimi nikupatie maragwe.
Exactly.
Lete nyama, mimi nikupatie sunflowers.
Yes. But the limitation ya hiyo system ilikuwa unaweza kuwa na mahindi mimi nataka apples. Nataka nikupe kuku wangu, wewe unipe apples but uko na mahindi. And that is what we used to call the double coincidence of wants. So eventually haikuwa sustainable
and not balanced. Yeah.
It was just not working. So humans had to look for another form of money. And one thing about humans is we evolve.
Yes.
And as we evolve, our systems also evolve and change.
Yes.
So that is why we moved from barter system to kaingia something called commodity money. So commodity money ilikuwa kama cowrie shells, hadi salt ilikuwa inatumika, hadi ng'ombe.
Chumvi.
Yeah, chumvi, cowrie shells na ng'ombe.
Ukitaka kunaenda kununua mkate unabeba ng'ombe.
Imagine. But cowrie shells zilikuwa very common. I guess kuna watu walikuwa nazicollect kwa sea. They were like some really nice quality.
So, the cowrie shells we know today.
Yes.
So zilikuwa pesa. Na sinaweza enda pale kwa sea ukute mingi sana.
Yeah, so for some time back then our ancestors walikuwa wanatumia cowrie shells kama currency. But then of course, like I said, humans will always evolve.
Yes.
Watakuwa wajanja.
Yes.
Na they'll find out ways kuharibu kitu.
True.
So kuna mtu alikuja, I think it was a foreigner. I'm not so sure about this, but I remember it was like someone foreign came to Africa because cowrie shells, they were very common here in Africa. And then wakaona, hawa si wanatumia cowrie shells. Naweza rudi huko kwetu, nizi mass produce, and then nikuje niwadanganye. So kapata, they are producing like fake cowrie shells, and again, it was not sustainable. There was a lot of deceit. And so that's when people moved to metal coins. So metal coins zilikuwa sasa kama gold, silver, hizo. I guess hata kwa Bible walikuwa na, si unakumbuka sijui Judas aliuza
Yesu na penny tatu, penny thelathini.
Hizo.
Penny thelathini.
So ndio tukakuja kwa metal coins because the commodity money was not working. So kwa metal coins, for some times zilikuwa poa, you know, value was being exchanged, nini. But again, humans evolved.
Yes.
And so the limitations of metal money zilikuwa kama, first of all, they were very heavy.
Yes.
Very heavy to carry around. Unapata mtu, hata tunawachingizo movies like za kitambo, zilikuwa mzito sana. And then that would expose you to like people stealing from you. Sindio? So you are like prone to theft. Watu watakuja wakuchape na waibe your metal coins. Also kukaanza kuwa na like just like how watu wana print like a fake Kenyan shilling. Watu walianza kumint fake coins. Fake coins. Wanaeka like wanadanganya ni gold but
and it's a brass.
Exactly. Yes. So there was that. And then also like you could not do large transactions with metal coins. Imagine ukienda kubuy shamba na coins
coins lori.
Sasa unaona. So hizo limitations zote they were like there. So humans now had to think of another way to make money. And actually the history of money, I call it the history of solving problems because with every stage of money, there was like a problem
being solved.
Yes, there was a problem being solved. It would work for some time, but ilikuwa inafika point, apana, it's not working anymore, so let's look for something else. So after metal coins, ndo watu wakaenda kwa paper money. So paper money ili originate in the 7th century, and it was by the Chinese people. So they decided like, hizi coins zimekuwa too heavy, let's print money. Like to make it, because it's light, it's just paper, itakuwa very easily portable. And then they would back it with gold or silver. So ungeenda kwa bank, unapeleka gold yako huko, wanakuwekea kwa reserve, and then wanakupea equivalent ya
karatasi.
Hiyo karatasi. And it worked for some time. But then, hey, gava ikaona, hey, hapa, sisi tunaumia, because they didn't have control, and they could not print as much money as they wanted. And then so like after that, wakaona, we need to do something. So in 1971,
in 1971?
Yes, si kitambo sana.
Oh,
the US government decide to end the
paper
gold
money.
Reserve.
Back with gold.
Yes, wakaamua like let's do away with the gold reserve. And now we want you guys to trust us. Because remember, money has to be backed by something. So they said, we are done with this gold. Money will not be backed by anything. You just have to put your trust in us. So this money that we use, by the way, guys, it's not backed by anything. It's not backed by gold.
So
by
it's
silver,
paper money.
By energy.
It's more of paper money than the first one.
Yes, this paper, the tissue paper, and your paper ya pesa, hakuna difference. The only difference ni the government said we should trust them, and that's where the value of the money comes. And honestly, that is so wrong.
So you mean this thing has just been here from 1971?
Yeah, no, even before 1971, the paper money has always been there. But the difference is it used to be backed by gold. But now it's not backed by anything. All these years, from 1971, this money we are using has never been backed by anything. It's just the trust that we put in the government. And this is why, so that gives the government like full control of their money, of this money. Yes, it was easy to carry now, like it's paper, so it's very portable. Yes. But there are also so many limitations. And this is this form of money, we call it fiat. It has the most and the biggest limitation, which is inflation. Because now the government has control, so that means they can print as much money as they want. Na hakuna mtu atawauliza. Na si lazima wakuja waulize permission from wewe as mwananchi. Ati kama like tunaweza print. They will do as they please. And this is why tunaona like there are so many wars. Because how do they fund these wars? They just go, wana print pesa.
Of course.
Wanapeana pesa huko ni Iran ama ni wapi? Israel na Iraq.
Na Iran.
Yeah.
Na Hamas, na Hezbollah, na Houthis.
It's the government. It's because of like they can print money whenever they want.
So mtu amesikia ukitaja inflation. Would you mind breaking it down? What is inflation in a layman's language?
Sawa. Hatukuwa tumemaliza history ya money kwanza.
Pole.
But tuko karibu.
Nimeruka.
So tumesema limitation ya hii fiat money ni inflation. That's the biggest limitation. There are so many other like counterfeiting, because tumeona watu wameskamiwa na fake notes. But inflation is the main one. And now, so from fiat money stand ndio tumeingia Bitcoin. Bitcoin now is the new form of currency. It's the new form of money. And if you look at all these limitations that all the money starting from barter trade up to fiat money, Bitcoin solves hizo limitations zote. Because first of all, it's scarce, so it cannot be inflated. Haiwezi printiwa na gava. Number two, it's portable, like it exists on the phone, so it's easy to carry around. Number three,
it's just digits.
Yes, it's decentralized. Yeah. So like no one controls it. What else? It's easily divisible. So kuna hii misconception, by the way, watu ufikiria ati lazima ununue Bitcoin moja ndio uown Bitcoin, but hiyo ni uongo. Bitcoin can be subdivided into like, I don't know, is it 7 or 6 digits, 0.000. So hata saa hii ukitaka kubuy Bitcoin ya 10 bob unaweza. Ukitaka kubuy ya 20 bob unaweza. So mtu asikudanganya ati lazima ubuy Bitcoin moja ndio ukue na Bitcoin, because Bitcoin moja saa hii ni sijui kama ni 8 million 9 million Kenyan shillings. Hapo hivyo. But sasa watu wengi wakiona hivyo wako, mi siwezi afford, but nimekuja kukuambia that si lazima ubuy Bitcoin moja ndio uown Bitcoin. With as little as your 10 shillings, 20, 30, 40, 50, mia, unaweza nunua Bitcoin. Na nitawaelezea aje. Keep watching. So now tumeona like hizo limitations zote za is the systems, the money systems that have been there, and now Bitcoin is solving all of this. But we've said that the biggest limitation has been inflation. And hiyo ndo umeniambia ni elezea watu what inflation is. And I love this topic because watu wengi they're not familiar with inflation. They don't understand it because first of all, they don't even understand how money works.
Yes.
So I feel like inflation, once you understand inflation, you're good. So let's get into it. What is inflation? So inflation ni like venye unaona, okay, in Kenya tunasemanga kwanza siku hizi ukisalimia mtu ama upige simu nyumbani, mama yako anakuambia gai maisha imekuwa ngumu.
Kwa hii serikali ya Kasongo.
Kwa hii serikali ya Kasongo. Maisha imekuwa ngumu. Vitu tu zinaendelea kuongezeka. Nini. But in reality, sio like bei ya vitu inapanda. It's the value of the money
ndio ina reduce.
Ndio ina reduce.